my goodness. Hello, Portland. Oh, man. That's me. I'm your friend. I'm your bud, Mitch Mitchell. I'm super stoked to be here. Seattle is okay, to be honest. People, like, if you say hi, they'll just, like, turn 180 degrees. And so, like, with Portland, I was like, okay, remember how to smile. So someone was, like, on the street, like, hey, and I was just like, eh. Like, that's how I say hi. Anyway, thanks so much for having me. Everyone's been super rad, right? Yeah, come on, give it up for everyone else. Jeez. All right, well, since it's Pride, pew, 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 Pride, pew, pew, pew. Yeah. I decided I'm going to tell you about the first time I ever made love to a man. I know, it's so sweet. So, there's an area that's been heavily gentrified in Seattle, much like Portland, called Capitol Hill. I've been told it's... Get the fuck out of my city if you just wooed Capitol Hill, come on. Anyway, sorry, that was rude. Seattle, see what I mean? It's like, I don't know how to be friendly. Anyway, so I pull up to this apartment in like the grown-up part of Capitol Hill, and it's being renovated. I go to apartment 307. That's where I'm gonna meet this guy. I do our like special knock we decided on. It's not very original. And the door kind of creaks open like a haunted house, like someone was like just kind of seeing who it was. And I look inside. It's a bare apartment, no paintings. There's a table with a bowl of fruit on it, and some nails and a hammer and some screws on the floor. And I look down, and there's this kind of like jacked leprechaun-looking guy, and he's on all fours with a butt plug in his butt, and he's naked. So that's how I know the butt plug was up there. And so I know I'm at the right place. Like, my knock worked. So I came out to my parents 3 times. Count them 3. The first time was as a lesbian woman. Spoiler alert, that's changed. And I actually, I grew up in a super liberal, very progressive household full of Unitarians. Is anyone Unitarian here? Yeah. Could you please explain? I don't know what that is still. It's like, but it's nice, you know? It's real nice. So I had like a reverse coming out. My parents sat me down and were like, you're gay. And I was like, okay. You win. The second time I came out as a transgendered man, and it was over the phone. My parents are in San Diego, being Unitarians. And I told my mom, and I heard my dad say, see, being a lesbian was just a phase. And I was like, yeah, you're right, yeah. You know. The third time I came out to my mom, it was just a straight up text message. I was like, hey, I'm queer. And she was like, great, I'll tell your father. Are you still drinking energy drinks? You should stop, you're an adult. Please don't drink any more energy drinks. So it was great. I think when you finally get to be who you actually are as a trans person, or as a lot of cisgendered folk like to say, living your truth. Because to me, living my truth is like smoking a joint on the toilet, you know? Yeah! That's the kind of applause. That's a whole other TED Talk we'll get into. So I kind of finally figured out things in my sexuality. I was like, oh, if I'm queer, I can like quadruple my chances of sex. That's awesome. Also, testosterone, you know what it does to you. It kind of gives you secondary sex characteristics of men, so I'm just like angry and horny all the time. It's no way to live, truly. But I wouldn't change a damn thing about it. I heard someone say, or is it? It is. You can be angry and horny. Be yourself, you know? Be yourself. Live your truth. Anyway, so I apply and I'm accepted to Grindr, which is a dating app. One of my straight friends was like, why is there no straight Grindr? And I was like, because it'd be disgusting. It would be gross, okay? Idiots, God. Okay, anyway. So I usually put on my profile that I am trans because I really hate that question like, how big is your dick? And I'm like, 3 inches. It's like 0, but I do have like a drawer full of them. Take your pick. Every now, I also will say, I think Jeffrey Dahmer would have loved Grindr. It is just torsos and heads and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, she's got it. She's like, yeah, he would. Every now and then I'll kind of get that shitty like, well, in my opinion, you're still a woman, so I don't know what you're doing on Grindr. And I just say, you know what? Opinions are like assholes, and I'm gonna wreck yours. So anyway, this guy messages me, and his profile picture is of him on a jet ski, facing the sun directly, so he looks like this. And I'm like, ooh, I like that. He says, hey, like, I saw your profile. Looks like you're looking to someone to like dominate. And I was like, yeah, that sounds good. What's your name, bud? And he was like, whatever you want it to be. Oh, yeah, right? And I was like, oh, cool, we'll just skip dinner. That's fine. Pig boy. That is what you are. And he says, okay, well, I really want to be fucked. And I was like, yeah, you do, pig boy. So we decide to meet at these apartments he's renovating. I thought he was an interior designer. I also thought interior design was like laying grout. So, but he does that, so he does that. Because he's married and, you know, can't meet at his house. It would be distracting. But it's fine, it's all fine. So back to the apartment. He's on all fours, butt plug in his butt. And I close the door. And I'm just like, oh no. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to dominate Look at me. Do I look like I know how to dominate someone? It's just like that. So he's like, what do you want me to do? And he looks up at me and I was like, don't look at me. Because I didn't want him to see that I was like panicking. Like I was like, fuck. Don't look at me, look at the floor. So I was like, okay, Mitch, all right, you got this. You took improv. Like, this is totally, you can do this. So I was like, take me to your den. And so he like crawls. And if you've ever watched someone, I don't get it. Just, it doesn't look comfortable to crawl with a butt plug, okay? I'm just gonna put that out there. But I don't know, let me know. Anyway, so he leads me to his den, right? Which is, and by the way, someone definitely lives in this apartment now, so take that, gentrification. I had pig sex in that apartment. So there's like a blanket and like an office chair, which I'm like, it's easy. Okay, office chair, whatever, fine. And I say I'm like, okay, like sit in the chair, I'm gonna tie you up. So I have this like bag of gear and dicks. And I take out my rope, a little like shibari rope, and I'm sitting in the chair. And then I try to tie him. And it's an office chair, so it swivels. So I'm doing like, and he's just kind of like going like, and it's like, I brought my rope, it was like 60 feet of rope, and I was like, and like I went to school in Arizona, so like I knew how to lasso. I know how to do things. So he's tied up, and I'm kind of getting into him like, yeah, okay, so I'm gonna be extra dominant. So I'm gonna like push you over, just like that. So instead, I push him, and he kind of just, the chair just kind of scoots. And he hits his head on the wall. And I was like, oh my God, are you okay? And he's like, it's fine, just fuck me, it's fine. So, we do it. We do a little bit of this, and a little bit of this, and all that stuff. And I don't know. Like I said, I've never had sex with a dude before. And he just, came out of nowhere. Literally, it was like, ugh. And it's like, do all dudes do that? Is it like a ghost fucking passes through you when you come? That's what it kind of seems like. No, dude, seriously, they act like they fucking finished a marathon. It's like, congrats, you came, get up. Fucking idiots. Anyway, but secretly I was kind of relieved because I was like, okay, all I had was this rope. But he's like, now what, master? And I was like, you can't just be like, well, that's it, bye. But I realized actually you can because you're the master. But I didn't realize that at the time. So I was like, okay, right, improv. Let's do this. So I untie him, and I say, go get your phone. And he's like, okay, I'll go get my phone. He whispered like that too, I don't know. So he gets his phone, I say, pull up YouTube. So he pulls up YouTube, and I say, I want you to learn how to juggle in the next hour. So I take this fake bowl of fruit, give it to him, and he's just like, watching someone juggle with a cock ring on is awesome. He's just like, And then I was kind of getting into it, and it was fun, and then I don't know, I brought a Luna bar because I knew I'd be hungry after that session, so I kind of sat back, and there's that bowl of screws, and he was juggling, so I just kind of started flicking screws at him, take that. And then I felt bad. I know, right? So I was like, oh, no, this is for me, and he was like, is this good? Is this good? And I couldn't resist. I was like, that'll do, pig. That'll do. So, it was fun, and we kind of let things cool off, and every now and again I'll get I got a oink oink happy Easter, and, oink oink happy Flag Day. So I'm waiting for an oink oink Juneteenth kind of thing, but it wasn't. Yeah, so if you're curious about having sex with a man, do it like that. Mm-hmm. Fun side story. So Pig Boy was in my phone as Pig Boy, and I went to San Diego for Thanksgiving to see my Unitarian family. And I forgot that previously the Bluetooth had connected to the car. So we were up to my grandma's on Thanksgiving Day. And this bling goes off in the camera, bing. And I'm just like, whatever, it's just a phone. And I hear my dad say, who's Pig Boy? I was like, that's my drug dealer. That's where I get my drugs. Anyway, thank you so much. I'm Mitch Mitchell. It's been so much fun. Thank you.